Scene? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, hello. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning, perhaps. Well, today, welcome to a scene of Set of the Howling Wind, where today Aiden is quite happy. He found out who his father is. He found out he has brothers and sisters. He got to meet one of his sisters, who he watched Little Mermaid with, and he's super happy right now. And so he's kind of going, he kind of walking around set with kind of a goofy grin on his face, happier than most of the time than usual.
If you're walking around the SEP, you see Veronica in lupus form snoozing.
Don't go to her and kind of sit next to her.
Still snoozing. You have not seen her this relaxed for a while.
Is she actually like asleep, or is she like that half awake, half asleep kind of thing? On a stage.
You could tell she's like half asleep, half awake.
She'll smile. Hey,
Blink. Blink and stretch.
heard you got married.
You just see a yawn as a wolf way of saying yes.
I found out who my father is.
She looks at you.
And he'll look at her straight in the face, like straight in the eyes. Alexi. Motherfucking Alexi.
Alexi licks the wound. Is your father?
Yep.
Oh, that means one of my pack members is your brother.
Which one?
Petra.
Yeah. Well, he's not biologically but yeah, he considers dad his son, and well, Alexi, dad considers him, yeah. So yeah, he's pretty much my brother, as far as I'm concerned.
She sips the hobbit.
Oh, so that means that my uncle has a huge crush on me.
Oh boy. It's a Silver Fang thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and my grandfather is pissed.
Why?
Because I'm a child of Gaia. He doesn't, Toria doesn't like children of Gaia. And I'm his grandson.
Not sure what his reason why he doesn't like them.
I don't know.
Does it really matter? A voice comes from behind Aiden. Old Romanovs and old Petrovas can get very stuck in their ways.
I guess so. Also a Silver Fang thing, no?
No. The Silver Fang thing is far worse, and the Romanovs are the best of them. But even with us, not all of us are Silver Fangs. Really, the tribal distinctions are bullshit anyways.
kind of weird to describe them. They're like political parties, but then not, and they're also kind of in your blood. It's weird.
No, it's not your blood so much as your spirit. It's hereditary in only the fact that the same can be said for religion. Good morning to you both.
Good
Morning.
morning.
So you text me with such wonderful message that you have found your father.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, he's my father. It's kind of hilarious. I like him. Also, it's funny because when I invited him into the pack, he wanted to call me daddy.
This
That
does not
sounds like-
surprise.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Kind of hilarious that he's my father.
To be perfectly fair, he is a very good example of what it is to be Petrova.
Weird and quirky.
Or easily distracted.
As I said.
Happy after you, Veronica. How did your wedding go?
It was magnificent. And the honeymoon was good too.
Where did you go for your honeymoon?
Kaz wanted to go to Disney World.
Yes, and so where did you go?
Out of game, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's not Epcot, but it's the one where like you could dress up as like Disney characters, as long as you're not like in masks.
I know that's not Disneyland. I don't fucking know.
Johnny
But
has the details, but I'll just say my character mentions that.
Right. Out of character, I just love this. Like, well, my husband wanted to go here, and Sasha's like, yes, so where did you go?
Some of the rides, various restaurants. We dressed up as Beauty and the Beast. My first husband was dressed as Gaston.
And were you Beauty or the Beast? And he'll say with a like shade eating grin.
I was Belle, and Kaz was Beast. He actually chose the costume ideas.
You know, it's ironic that the historical Belle and Beast, if they had been historical, would have had unfortunate ends only a few years later.
Yeah, Disney's not good with a lot of their accuracies. Just ask the Wendigo what they think of the movie Pocahontas.
I think everyone agrees that movie is absolute bullshit.
Yeah. If you guys make any observations, you could tell with Veronica, even though she won't really show it, like you could tell like she did this. for both the men to make them happy. Like kind of that like think about trying to think about like because of the Shadow Lord complex, like they're not going to admit these things. They're not going to be like, I had a good time. Be like, I guess it was all right.
Yes. Aiden smiles. So, then he'll say with a grin, "Did you like it?"
It was all right. You could tell that she actually really enjoyed it. She's just not. She's too smug to admit it.
Yeah, sure. All right.
If her husband was around, she would not say that. She would be like, "Oh, I enjoyed it immensely."
So, were the public parts the part that you enjoyed, or was it something else?
Oh, there were other things I enjoyed other than the public parts. As you see, like a really devilish grin.
Sasha just sips the to-go cup of tea that she has. Totally Kermit the Froggy in here.
But that's none of my business.
So, what non-public areas did you do? Non-public things did you do? Or is that too intimate?
That's very intimate.
I think that also kind of answers my question. He'll say with a grin again.
I have the perfect picture for Sasha's expression. There you go.
So is Sasha's expression also on loop?
Could be. You never know.
However, my husband did surprise me with one thing. He gave me a wedding present. She reveals the clave she got.
Damn!
It looks like it's made out of obsidian.
Is that actual volcanic glass?
It looks like it. I know there's a lightning elemental in here.
If it is, that weapon could be used for surgery. Volcanic glass is possessing of such a fine edge that it outperforms scalpels. And it's harder than normal glass. So it stands up to wear and tear.
She has a look like she's very impressed and looks down at her glaive.
You know what else is harder than normal glass? Holy shit, I am my father's son.
This was well known when you texted me earlier trying to get a rise out of me, and it did not work.
Aiden, you might want to be careful with some of your jokes. There's a reason your dad has gone down 2 ranks.
Yeah, that's coming to mind. I'm starting to realize.
There's also a reason his D name got changed.
Lick is. Yeah, I heard Lick is. I don't get me.
Make a Garu lore. And then ask Johnny. If you have Garu lore, ask Johnny if you can roll for it.
Where's Johnny? I mean, I've got it at 3. I'm pretty sure I can roll it, but I'll ask.
Ask if you can roll for it. There is a reason for it, but it's like Veronica
Right.
knows the reason. She's just not saying it.
But yeah, out of character, obsidian is like one of the most absurdly useful materials when it comes to tools and weapons, specifically because it holds an edge so well and is more durable than flint. It's actually almost more durable than steel when it comes to use.
And certain surgical instruments, you're going to catch a lot of them. Some of them could be with steel, but then there's some that can be titanium, but you can't mix them if you're doing implants.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to cut flesh open, there's nothing better than obsidian. Because that is like a laser's edge. And now we wait.
Sammy is the son of V. Tullius Packmeats and a Sluga. Is that how it's pronounced, Sluga?
Slua, I think, yeah.
Oh,
Slua.
Slua. Okay.
Yeah. You know, I just realized that Sassy's notoriety is probably going to rise to 4 before too much longer.
Okay, yeah, so I'll be like, I just know it's a nudie name. I don't know why he got it.
You can ask around. But, however, the new deed name, since the Petrovas have a difficult time focusing, the deal is he can get his old deed name back once he goes up rank. I got something for that.
As you said, the Petrovas have hard time focusing. This is not a trait shared by the Romanov side of the family. You could say we have too much focus.
Might explain your passion.
True.
She doesn't say that in an insulting manner, by the way.
Yes, that is the nice way of putting it.
What's a less nice way of putting it?
There is a reason I am not welcome in Moscow. There is a reason I have death sentence on my head should I ever return to my homeland. If I put my mind to something, I will not rest until it is done. And this includes chewing out old fogies whose time has long passed, and they refuse to recognize it. I feel sometimes if I had chosen a career in the politics of our people instead of researching the metis and a cure for their afflictions, I would not be opening a genetics clinic now, but I would be competing with the High King for his seat.
Well then. Competing with the king for his seat. That would be amusing now that you're a glasswalker if you did that. Or have you not been accepted yet?
Out of character, I still need to do catch-up stuff on that.
Okay.
She was supposedly there at the moat and did the whole thing, but that has not yet been seen.
Okay.
So until that seems, it's in limbo.
Okay.
Just imagine my career path if I had been a Silverfang noblewoman rather than a former Silverfang geneticist and doctor.
I think you've been showing more productivity outside the Silverfangs than within their ranks.
Also, if you were a Silverfang noblewoman, you just wouldn't be sad. You wouldn't be Sasha. You wouldn't be our Sasha, and that would be sad.
No, if I had put my pursuits into politics instead of medicine, I would not be fleeing from the Russian Silverfangs. I would be controlling them. Sadly, some of the elders are easy to manipulate. As long as you know what right buttons to push. I just let my passions get in my way.
I prefer that Sasha, the one that lets her passion get in the way, and the one that fucking insulted an elder in front of him, right in his face.
She just kind of stares off into the middle distance.
Do you believe the Fangs are too different here than, let's say, Russia?
The Fangs here are extremely different, if High King Elbricht is any indication. And of course, there's the rest of the family, who are mostly Petrovas, but, well, they are great examples of that side of the family, even if I joke that they are rascals. Oof.
So, yeah, and now we we have two Ragabashes, two Ragabash, and a Galliard.
Well, you'll be able to sneak in and out very easily with two Ragabash.
Mm-hmm.
You might need to look for a Theurge.
That
Is your main thing.
will be useful. As for who is going to be Alpha, the Right Master is coming to us with a challenge on Saturday. And it's going to determine whether me or Lash will be Alpha. And the
Lash
other
also has an interest in Alpha.
and he'll nod. And
She
thank
just-
God, Alex, he doesn't.
She just kind of watches the two of them quietly. A curious but slightly amused look on her face when she hears that someone else is deciding who will be alpha of this new pack.
Yeah.
I mean, we both wanted to be Alpha, but didn't know what challenge to set ourselves, and we decided to go to the Master of Challenges. I would say had thought of something, but yeah, no.
Well, the use of an arbiter is not unheard of, and a decent route to go when you have no other options. A leader will simply take charge.
Yes. They will.
You may down the line discover that one of you was simply holding the position for your true alpha. And there is no shame or dishonor in that.
She'll shrug. Maybe.
Whatever your positions may be within your pack, my advice to you is do your best, make it count. Every position is important.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Even an Omega can do many good things.
Alex is going to be our Omega. Well, think so.
You know, I once heard of I don't remember what her tribe was, but she was in Paris, the outskirts of the city, a few years ago. The local pecks were making merry with harassing the local vampires. They had decided to chase the vampire leader and a few of her cohorts to a clearing where they could have their fun with them in a much more traditional manner than probably would be accepted anytime soon. This Omega, new to the pack, young woman, was also a healer, much like myself, but she did not have the education for it. She was instructed in the healing arts by the spirits. And I believe she had the gift called Mother's Touch. She was instructed by her alpha, as well as the war leader, to make sure that she stayed back and out of trouble and healed those who needed healing. Well, they used many of their gifts and rights to screw up what the vampires could do to them. Well, the Alpha was fighting the leader of the vampires and making a good accounting of himself. But she noticed he was starting to get very battle damaged. So, in her wolf form, she leaps in, touches nose to his butt while he is in war form, and heals him of his wounds. And then, following her orders, dashes back out of combat and stays along the sidelines. To end this part of the story, they were victorious and returned back to their hideouts to celebrate their great victory. But the beta of the pack was upset. After all, he believed that everyone had contributed but the Omega, and that she should not be allowed to celebrate. After all, everyone else was out there fighting while she, what did she do? Cower on the sidelines like a coward. The Alpha stepped in and said to this pack beta that she had done as she was ordered. She had done all that was required of her and more. She had leapt into combat and healed him, even when this would have resulted in her own harm if she had been unlucky. She had made sure that she had done her job and followed her alphas and war leaders' orders. Just because she is not a fighter does not mean that she did not contribute. And if the beta had more to say on this issue to disparage the Omega, he could always switch their positions. So yes, everything has its place.
Until not. Even as werewolves, we may be built as to be warriors. We can take forms that are superhumanly strong, but in the end, we don't have to focus on fighting, on combat. Those who aren't strong, some of us may not even be able to be strong in combat because of something physical, but we can still contribute.
It's more about
Go ahead.
it's more on also capabilities, not just based on weaknesses. My pack, we happen to have a Bubasti that's low rank, and he's able to sneak in and out compared to some of us because his form is smaller, and we're able to utilize that. As well as because he looks like a cat, it makes him less obvious as opposed to wolves walking downtown.
Yeah.
So it's always good to know what tricks you can have up your sleeve based on what you're able to do.
This is something I see a lot of new members of our nation forget about or never get properly taught. I'm glad to see these lessons are being passed on so wonderfully.
She nods.
So many out there think that the only Garou that are worth anything in a pack are the ones who were born under the moon of combat.
No. I'm an alpha of my pack, and I am born under the gibbous moon. But, however, if there are moments where it is more appropriate for someone to handle a situation better, I will consult their advice first. There are certain things, for example, the beta is a Theurge. She would know about spirit chimeage better than me. I would be consulting her on that. We have two of them, one being a Children of Gaia, with our totem being Black Unicorn. She would understand that, but because most of us are Shadow Lords, the other Theurge being a Shadow Lord means that we can make sure we are focused on our purpose.
She nods and smiles.
And that is the most important thing as an alpha that you need to do. It is not about being the strongest or the best. It is about the unity and having the strength from within. There's a reason that I was able to get my rank as a Cleaf among Fosterns.
To put it another way, you are less king and more patrician.
Veronica looks at Sasha. Out of game, what does Patricia mean? It's late. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to describe this, but CEO, president, someone who doesn't, someone who isn't from which all authority flows, but someone who takes in advice and changes it around to orders that disseminate.
There is adaptability, similar to what you said. Though you could tell, like, with paying attention to her, it's more of a complex with her that she would not tolerate somebody taking that position.
Not like Sasha's going to deny someone that complex. I mean, come on, she's a fucking Romanov.
Yeah.
Born to rule is something she understands. Ooh.
It's just more of my character's not stupid about it. If you're gonna rule, you need to get good at. You need to be smart about it.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. It's getting too cold for me. I think I'd better head to bed.
Soon I'm gonna get going. Can we end scene?
Yeah, I was gonna say we can end the scene now.
Sorry for the short scene.
No worries. Well, with the three just speaking and kind of enjoying each other's company, we'll end this in there. Thank you, players, for thank you, players, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And well, we'll see you on another